All right, 13 minutes after 7 o'clock, and time to check in with Ryan PC Trimble to see what you found trending online. Good morning.
Good morning. It's so great to hear you say that again. We missed you. We really did.
It's been a couple days, but I feel very missed. Thank you.
Well, this morning we have another example of celebrities who just do not know when to keep their mouth shut, watching what they say. You know, Jonah Hill actually apologized for using a very bad homophobic word over the weekend when he was approached by some paparazzi. You know, then those paparazzi can be very aggressive, and he sort of lashed out and he used a word that was just very inappropriate. And in an interview with Howard Stern, and as well later in an interview with Jimmy Fallon, he publicly apologized. You know, he said that it was a very wrong word to use, and that he is a advocate for gay rights, and he's worked with the Human Rights Campaign. So obviously he didn't mean it in a way that was sort of against homosexual people. It was just an angry moment because the paparazzi had been after him, and they'd be yelling at him and calling him names all day, and he just sort of had enough. So you sort of, I mean, there's no excuse for using words like that, but you sort of see where he was coming from, you know?
Well, I mean, it's a known fact, you know, that they, of course, they're going to get frustrated when there's cameras in their faces. Yeah,
and I was listening to that interview coming into work this morning, and I heard he was at lunch with some high school friends, just kind of trying to be normal.
Yeah.
You know, and he said they'd pursued and pursued and pursued, and he let it fly. And then he said, you know, the sad thing is, I'm leaving this show, I'm going to be with another friend whose wedding I'm standing in, who's gay and is having, you know, he's marrying his partner. Yeah. And he said, so this is completely not indicative of who I am, but this is now how I'll be labeled.
Right. Exactly. And the paparazzi do that. I mean, they want that reaction because they want that footage and they want that story. So unfortunately, that's just what happened. But you kind of got to look at the motivations and look at his past before you just say, you know.
And now with these things being everywhere, no matter what you say, where you are, what you do, someone's got you on camera.
Yeah. And in the past, you maybe could have denied it, but nowadays, everybody has a copy of it.
But you know, but he did. I mean, as soon as it came out, I think in the Stern show, he said, "This is the first place I've come since," and he said, "You know, I just want to get it out there." Yeah, I said it, but this is the context of. Yeah. So at least he wasn't hiding it.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
All right.
Well, one thing that hasn't been hiding is Star Wars news. We have, since you've been gone, we've actually had a lot of Star Wars news. And today we have even more. TMZ obtained this photo of what actually looks like the beginning stages of a reconstruction of Han Solo's Millennium Falcon. Now, sources close to the film tell us, well, they don't tell us, they tell TMZ, that the pictures were taken inside a very secret location in the United Kingdom where a bunch of different sets and props and creatures are being constructed.
Creatures.
And you know, at first it might just look like a part of a random part of some ship, but it is not. It's not a piece of junk. It is the Millennium Falcon, and as well as some other creatures that were being built, and an X-wing. They got a picture of an X-wing too. So very exciting Star Wars news, you know, for a huge Star Wars fan like I am, and Bob Bonner as well.
It is. I do. You know, we always you hear us talking about our guys that you can't see behind the cameras. Talking with Scott yesterday, and I had just said, when I saw the picture of the Millennium Falcon, I mean, I immediately. I was like 9 years old again. I mean, and I didn't watch the Jar Jar Binks and those things afterwards because, quite honestly, it ruined Star Wars for me.
Oh, geez.
But I mean, it took me back to my childhood to 1977 when that movie came out. And I went with my grandmother, and it was just, it blew my mind that there it was.
I love Star Wars, but obviously I'm not paying attention to enough specifics because I would not have really recognized that.
Well, for me, there was a very long, had to have been 10 years period of my life where I was obsessed with Star Wars. I collected them. I knew everything about everything. So
I mean, that was my dad coming home from work at night and asking, "Did you bring me another Star Wars figure?" I mean, it was it was a, like you said, it was a large part of my childhood.
Definitely,
so it's kind of cool.
All right.
And our last story actually is from Mr. Gannon Medwick, who found, or actually, well, did you find this or did Big Steve find this?
I found this. Suggested it to Big Steve. Big Steve said, yeah, it's awesome. So that's how I knew it was awesome.
Perfect.
But it's about drones. You know, drones are kind of trending all the time these days. Yeah. Drones in military operations, privacy issues with drones. Can drones deliver packages to you? And this year, the National Hurricane Center sending drones into hurricanes, or at least that's the plan. But here's sort of a mellow way to use a drone just for personal enjoyment. This dude, Don Ackles, lifted his drone off above the Wrightsville Beach horizon there.
I was gonna say, that looks familiar.
Oh yeah, it's local. And this was into actually our sister station, WECT, See It, Snap It, Send It section just a couple of weeks ago. And I uncovered it and I'm like, man, this is cool.
That is neat.
That is beautiful.
You know?
You can.
And look how smooth,
Yep.
look how smooth
Yeah.
the footage is too.
Just a zen moment right there.
It really is.
Yeah, I
Gosh.
was talking with our chief photographer, Ryan Carresco, just yesterday, and I said I wanted, my plans are to get a GoPro by the end of the summer.
Yeah.
And I want to get one of these so bad. And I said, I wanted to just shoot aerial footage of my daughter's t-ball game.
Yeah.
Oh.
I mean, there's just the things that you can do with these. I'm sure the ump would toss me out of the game for doing something like that. but I have thought, and I said to Ryan yesterday, I said, wouldn't it be just so cool to just take it out of the beach and
Nice.
like capture a pelican
Just like
flying
this,
by
yeah.
or something like that? It's so neat what you can do now.
Yeah.
That is neat.
It's nice to see those being used. You know, you hear all kinds of bad things about drones, but it's nice to see them being used for good things. You know, like
I'm not sure how they're operated. How do you?
Well, all
Just
the-
It's
radio
just a little
control.
remote
Yeah.
control.
like a remote
yeah.
control.
now that we know what
Okay.
it is. Yeah, no, that's basically just what it is. It's a remote control plane.
He said there are
Attach all
4
kinds of stuff to
rotors
it.
on that thing. So, I mean, it's just, really stable
Yeah.
looking.
The GoPros don't weigh anything,
great.
so you
Yeah,
just
yeah.
mount it and away you go.
Is there something so you can tell where it's going, like a monitor or something? Like,
I guess
because
you
once
just-
it
I think
gets
it's just
far
by
away,
sight. I
you.
think-
I mean, for
What
that,
what
I
if
think
it
you
gets
just
out
kind
of
of
your
watch
line of
it.
sight?
Well, then you lose it.
Yeah.
Oh. Well, that looked like it was pretty far away from
Yeah, I mean,
you.
I mean, maybe you have like a rate. I don't know. I've never.
I don't know.
controlled
My dad
one.
flies radio control planes, and they don't have a little box or anything. You just have to watch them.
Right, well, because
So I'd
normally
imagine
you're
it'd
in
be
a
the same
field
thing.
or
Yeah,
something
yeah.
with one of those, but I mean, he was sending that along the beach. I don't
Well, it
know.
looked like from what I could see of it, it looked like it was still in the same general area.
Okay, so
Yeah,
you
yeah.
think it was line of sight for him?
I think he could see. That's
All
my
right, we're
guess.
going to do some more research on these drones.
Just don't let them get out of control there.
That's for sure.
Yeah, just watch it. All right, beautiful shot there from the beach, and that's where we're going to keep it with a quick forecast here at 7:20. Inland temperatures, low 90s. Beaches in the 80s today with water temps in the mid-70s and a low to moderate risk of rip currents for both our east-facing and south-facing beaches. We'll see you with more after this.